Hey LA loves, welcome to my channel. Let's discuss with author LA Logan. On today, we're going to be talking about some things that I am tired of, I'm sad about, and the only thing I know to do is to keep praying and being supportive where I can. What am I talking about? Well, I'll give you a hint. It's going on in the news, and it's probably being talked about around many dinner tables, many phone conversations, definitely being discussed on social media, and you just can't get away from it. So let's get into it. Let's discuss. Okay guys, as you can tell, I'm still at home. I am still self-quarantining. Well, not self-quarantining and so I have to do it, but because I choose to. I haven't been out. I haven't been to any restaurants. I have been out. Let me rephrase that. I have ventured out just a little bit, but I have not went to any restaurants. I'm still doing my, bi-weekly grocery store runs, and just getting out to do the things that I have to do. Or that I need to do, but for the most part, I'm still staying in. I know some people who are going out, who are going to the movies, or not necessarily in movies, but going out to eat and doing those things that have been reopened, and I just haven't gotten there yet. I'm not there yet. So like most of you, I'm in the house, I'm watching the news, TV, scrolling through my social media. I'm just doing various things to pass time. And one of the things that has definitely been going on the past several weeks have been just saddening. I mean, my heartbreaking. Definitely has started some spirited conversations, and I'm talking about all of the incidents that have taken place as it pertains to African American men. I usually I'm not as vocal about certain things in a public setting, just because I do work in corporate America. I do, I know that what I say and do doesn't just necessarily is a reflection on me, but it's a reflection of other things that I have my hands in. And so because of that, I try to be mindful of what I say and how I say things. Well, I'm over it. I'm just over it. My heart is breaking. I mean, how can you be human and have a heart and your heart not break over some of the things that have happened over the past few weeks? I remember when I saw the video of Ahmaud, and I was just in shock. I could not believe that happened in the United States of America. And at that time, it had been over 2 months, and it was just coming to light, and something was just being done about it. And I think at that time nothing had been done about it. Still, the video had just surfaced, and in my mind all I can envision was that could be my son. I have a teenage son who I'm always coaching when he leaves out of the house, and he doesn't get it. Well, he did not get it. He thought because he was a good kid, he didn't get into any trouble. He's very selective about who he hangs out with. He thought he was doing everything right. But every time he leaves the house, even before I saw the Ahmaud video, all of the videos and situations prior to that one always prompted me to have a conversation with him about leaving the house, to make sure, you are doing everything right. If you are stopped by a police officer, make sure you keep your hands where they can be seen. Don't make any sudden moves. I don't care what it is. Like, I'm having to coach him, and the whole time he's gone, I'm praying. And what is heartbreaking for me is that I have to do that when I know that some of my friends that are not African American don't have to do that with their sons. Their sons can come and go freely without a care in the world, without having to worry or second guess their every move. And so when I saw that video of Ahmaud, all I could think of was that could have been my son. And my heart broke for his mom. Like, I can't imagine being told that news, you know, and then on top of that, to find out that what you were originally told was not true. And then to find out what really happened to your son, that is beyond devastating. Like, she is so incredibly strong, because I don't know if my mind, if I could handle that would just be, that's a hard thing to deal with. And so that happened, and I was heartbroken. I was praying for his mom and praying that, you know, that this evil that's just circulating within our world, you know, that we pray against that, and pray that some positive conversations will start taking place, and that those who are not, that don't have to deal with the things that African Americans have to deal with, would have some compassion and be like, you know what, that isn't right. You know, it may have been this way years ago, but it doesn't have to be this way now. I want to be a part of that change. That if more non-African Americans would come forward, specifically Caucasians, that would come forward and say, enough is enough. It doesn't have to be that way. I want to be a part of that change. I think that we could make some serious progress. So in dealing with that, I saw the video of, there were various videos that just started surfacing of situations with African American males. And then the next one that I saw that is ingrained in my mind after seeing Ahmaud's video, murder. I saw the video of the young man that was in the park, and he asked the lady in the park, to put a leash on her dog, because that's a part of the rules. And the first thing that I thought in my mind was, if it was the reverse, you know, we're quick to be told what we need to do or what we're not supposed to be doing. So what was wrong with that? I don't know, unless he was just completely, I don't know, disrespectful with it. I don't understand what the anger was about. And based on his demeanor, I did not get the impression that he, you know, was negative in, you know, in any way in asking her, could you please leash your dog? I know I'm scared of dogs. I don't care how little the dog is or how big the dog is. Even though I had a dog, I had an Old English Bulldog at one point. I'm terrified of dogs. Nobody's dog is like my dog. I know what my dog's going to do, but anyone else's dog, I'm terrified. And so one of the reasons why I don't even like to exercise outside is because I'm afraid I might come in contact with the dog that's not on a leash. And so I totally understand, you know, asking, the request being made, can you please put your dog on a leash? Well, instead of doing that, she got upset. And not only did she get upset, she just went all the way to the left, and just, it's mind-blowing to me how you can go from being asked to put your dog on a leash to, I'm going to call the cops on you, and I'm going to tell them that an African-American male is threatening me. Y'all, come on. That is ridiculous. And then you do it. You call, and you not only call, but you accelerate your voice, you get your tone together to where it really literally sounds like you are being threatened and or about to be attacked by an African American male that you know is already a hunted species in the United States. You knew what you were doing. And in my mind, I'm like, why? Why let your anger or your maybe secret hate take you to that level? You know, anything that you do in secret, especially if it's not right, it's going to always come to light sooner or later. So you may be one of those that think you're secretly harboring hate towards a certain culture. You You know, you may have those conversations with those of you in your circle. You know, that's something you would never say publicly. But if it's in you, it's going to come out of you. I'm going to say that again. If it's in you, it's going to come out of you. And it's going to usually manifest itself in a situation where you lose complete control and you don't even realize that you've exposed yourself. Case in point, the lady in the park. Had there not been video and the police actually showed up and went off what she said and how she was behaving, that young man would have been arrested, or even more, even worse, would have been murdered. Emmett Till. I don't understand how you can have so much hate and so much evil inside of you. You know, at some point I don't care how you were raised, at some point you got to realize what's right is right and what's wrong is wrong. Same thing happened to him. And years later, after he's gone, she confessed on her deathbed that she lied. It's a little too late for that. You want to clear your conscience now and get right because you're getting ready to go meet your maker. That tells me that you had a sense of right and wrong if you had enough sense to get that right before you took your last breath. Period. That just... So, I saw that video. That upset me because, again, that could have been my son. A group of his friends in the park doing what teenagers do, or like that gentleman was. I think he was bird watching or sightseeing or painting. He wasn't messing with nobody. He was just enjoying the day. And then the last video that I just recently saw, that one about did me in. George Floyd. That was evil in the flesh. I mean, I don't even know how to adequately express what watching that video did to me. You know, after watching Ahmaud's video, the gentleman in the park, and his name is, I'm not even sure if his name has been made public, but I don't know his name, but the Central Park situation. And then just a day or two later, this video comes up. I can't even wrap my head around that. And you know what? I shouldn't have to. I mean, he supposedly tried to it was several different versions of what he was trying to do. Either he was trying to pass a fake money, a $10 bill or $20 bill, or a fake check, forgery. And a call was made. Police officers in their initial statement said the police officers arrived. He was in a car. They took him out the vehicle. He resisted arrest. They noticed that he was possibly on something, and they called for medical attention for him. Now, they summed that up and wrapped that up in a nice, pretty wrapping paper and a bow to where it made it sound like it was, you know, it wasn't their fault. It wasn't a big situation that took place. And then the first couple videos surfaced of them holding him down on the ground, handcuffed, 4 police officers on him, on his back, and then the one has his knee on his neck. And he is begging for his life. He is saying, I can't breathe, I can't breathe, I can't breathe. He calls out for his mom. He begs them, please, I can't breathe. And the thing that really was just mind-blowing to me is the officer that you could see, the officer that had his knee on his neck, was so confident in what he was doing. It's almost like he, again, forgot where he was at, and that secret hate that was usually discussed in secret has seeped out, and now it's public. It's like he forgot where he was at and what he was doing. And it was almost like a kick in the face, like, yeah, I got my knee on his neck and you can't do nothing about it. What you gonna do? It was almost like he was taunting the people that were on the side, begging them to please let him up. He's bleeding it from his nose or his mouth. He's not fighting, and let him up. He's saying he can't breathe. It was almost like he had to prove a point of who had the power in that situation. And at the end result, he dies. He didn't have to die because of a forged check or forged money. And it was clear. So the next video, another set of videos come up where they're taking him out the car. It was clear to me that he might have been intoxicated, or maybe wasn't in his right mind. Maybe even he was having some type of a mental break. It could have been a number of things, but it was clear he wasn't in his right mind. But he wasn't belligerent. He wasn't fighting the police. He wasn't doing any of those things that the police had said in their earlier statement. And when they showed them walking him across the street, it almost looked like he either collapsed or was knocked down when they got over there by that black truck. Now, I see on the news right now that there's a young man, a Caucasian college student, who has murdered 2 or 3 people. And the thing that they keep saying over and over and over again is he has mental issues. They keep saying that over and over and over again. And I'm thinking, okay, I wonder how he's going to be treated, because it's being said he has mental issues. Is he going to be given the benefit of the doubt because he has mental issues? As for the gentleman who had a knee in his neck, I don't know that same consideration. I know that same consideration wasn't made for him or given to him. That, I heard the officer ask him on the video, "What are you on?" So if you think he's on something, I can't even rationalize it. I just can't. I can't. There's no excuse. There is no excuse for what happened at all. And the thing that I hear people say is, well, if he would have just complied, or if they wouldn't have been where they were at, kind of like with Ahmaud's situation. I came across a screenshot of a secret group that was set up for supporters of the McMichaels, who are the individuals who murdered Ahmaud. And they were trying to raise money to help them with their legal fees. And one of the comments that the person made, and or not a comment, but the reason why, or I can't think of what it's called, but the description or the purpose of the group, disclaimer, I can't think of the word right now what I'm trying to say, but what they said was they're good people, they're nice people, and if he would have just stopped and answered a few questions, none of this would have happened. Are you kidding me? So an African American male is out for a jog. He runs up on 2 Caucasian males, both armed with a gun, and they are not the police, and he's supposed to stop and have conversation with them, see what they want. Really? So if it was the reverse, if 2 African American males were armed, both of them were armed, and they pulled up on a truck on a Caucasian male that was jogging and tried to accost him, he was supposed to stop, or he was supposed to receive the same treatment that Ahmaud received, and it would have been okay. It's kind of like just in general, I think sometimes as humans, we forget how to be human. We forget that it could easily be us on the other end of that situation. You know, we're quick to pass judgment or have a comment or a thought about, and we do it in our cultures. Cultures do it within their culture. So it's not always, I'm not just speaking to those that are not that are not African American. I'm speaking to everyone. We are sometimes quick to judge and say, well, if they would have done this, or if they would not have done that, or if they wouldn't have been there, or if the woulda, shoulda, coulda. No, right is right and wrong is wrong. It could have been my son, you know, or your son. If it was one of my friends or family members who are not African American and they found themselves in that same situation, I would want them to be able to live to suffer whatever consequence they need to suffer legally. It doesn't matter. For me, it wouldn't have mattered what color the person was. I have compassion, period. I don't want to see any human being mistreated or, you know, wrongfully accused or just any type of injury. I don't want to see that. But it strikes home, and it cuts different, it rubs different when it is your culture, it is an African American, and because you can relate, because you have a son, is what I'm trying to say. And one thing that I'm paying close attention to during this time is I have a lot of friends that are not African American. They're not. And I'm paying close attention to what they're not saying. And I get it. You may be scared to speak out or say something or express your opinion. I get it. You know, like I said, I usually don't do that on my platforms because I am tied to so many different things. But I'm sorry, I'm tired. I'm hurt, I'm heartbroken. You know, it doesn't have to be like this. And I know a lot of this behavior is taught. You know, I think about my grandparents and how some of the things they used to say to me about other cultures. And I remember I used to think, well, that's mean, or that's not right, or why would you think like that? But now that I'm older, I get why they thought like that. Because they they went through some things and experienced some things that I couldn't even dream of going through or experiencing. I wouldn't have been able to handle it. I wouldn't have survived it. You know, it's kind of like, I think it was the movie Django. I might have that wrong, but there was something said, it was a movie I remember watching, and it was something said along the lines of, you know, during slavery, there were more slaves than there were masters, but the slaves it never occurred to them that there were more of them than the masters, and they could have taken over. They could have revolted and was like, okay, we're going to bar together and we're going to overturn this. We are not doing this. But that mindset wasn't there. Their mind had been conditioned that you are a slave and you must do what your master tells you to do. We don't live in that generation anymore. And this new generation and culture is not going. And that scares me too, because violence doesn't solve anything, and more hatred doesn't solve anything. Love and prayer is the answer and the key to all of it. If you can have compassion and love and care about your neighbor, regardless of what color your neighbor is, that will eradicate hate all day long. But as long as you allow it to go on in secret and don't speak up against it, you're afraid you're going to be kicked out, you're going to be banned, or excuse me, your family's going to disown you. That's how hate continues to live and breathe. So I'm kind of all over the place today because my mind is all over the place. And the only thing that I know to do is just pray and try to have positive thoughts and try not to group everybody into one category or group make everyone guilty because of what a certain person decides to do. I don't know, guys. This is really far off from what we normally discuss, but I just couldn't hold it in any longer, and I just wanted to express what I was thinking, and I wanted us to be able to discuss it, because there needs to be an open discussion about it. You know, I don't want your hateful comments. That's not what I want. I want to know truly, why are certain people in certain cultures afraid of African American men? That's what I want to know. And really, I think it goes back to all those years and years and years and years ago of this whatever is taught in that area. I don't know what was taught. You know, hate is definitely taught, and I don't know why one culture feels like they're superior over another. I don't get it. And yeah, with the leadership that we currently have, I can see why it's escalated. And again, we have to pray. We have to pray that the right people are in charge to make decisions that will affect everybody, and they care about the decisions that they make that affect everybody. That is not just about them or what they feel or what they think. When you're a leader, you have to care about everyone that you are leading, no matter what they look like, sound like, act like. It don't matter. You have to care about them. And when you stop doing that, you stop being an effective leader. So I'm going to stop there, guys, because I could go on and on and on. But I needed to get that out. And I wanted to see how you all were feeling. I wanted to have a discussion to see if you were tired also, if you were heartbroken, if you've had enough of it, you know. There needs to be some really serious discussions and some changes, because this is just, it's sad. It is so sad. And I'm one of those people that I try to find the positive in anybody I come in contact with, no matter how unlovely they are. I try to find something. I try to, because I know that everybody's not going to like me or find me appealing, but I would hope that they will find something about me they can deal with that would allow them to tolerate me in a positive way. So guys, that's what I wanted to talk to you about today. If this is your first time stopping in, welcome to my channel. I hope that you enjoy the discussion. If it's not your first time, welcome back. I ask that you click the subscribe button and click the like button if you like what we've discussed on today. I would love for you to join into the discussion, so leave your comments below. And I ask that you share the video, you know, invite others to come and be a part of our discussions. We talk about a variety of different things, and it's an open forum. Something else that I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get my subscribers up. So I'm counting on you to help me with that. So if you haven't clicked the subscribe button, once again, I ask that you click it. And by clicking the subscriber button, it will let you know each time content has been loaded to the channel. So we're all quarantining together. I want us to all love together. I want us to all pray together that we will get through this and there will be a positive outcome. And that's those that need their eyes opened, they'll get them opened. That this will be a situation that will open some eyes. That's what my prayer is. But before I go, I want to leave you with this. Remember, the plan for your life has already been... I'm tired, guys, if you can't tell. But seriously, remember, the plan for your life has already been designed. It's just up to you to trust the planner. Have a good one.